welcome everyone back. Astros with a 2-1 lead here in Oakland. A lot of Astros fans here today for the second game of this series, including one I'm sitting next to, Jay, huge Astros fan, living in Houston. But Jay, you're trying to pull off something pretty rare, pretty tough to do. You're trying to visit all 30 ballparks so far this year. What number are you on right now?
This is number 8. This is the plan. I'm honoring my wife who passed away almost 6 months ago, and I decided to take my own bucket list trip. I'm going to go to all 30 baseball parks this season, and when I can see the Astros, it makes it that much sweeter.
I was going to say, you can't see you can't just follow us right here. You've got to bounce around. This is a little difficult to schedule.
It's really hard to do when you're driving. I've been driving to all the stadiums so far, but
driving, that's right.
I'm in a van down by the river. I bought a special van, the Coachmen Beyond van, and I'm doing as many games as I can. I'll do all the games I can in my van.
You said this is number 8. Did you have it all planned out before the season started, or you have to make adjustments already?
I've had it roughly planned out in my head, but I'll learn it long it takes something to do it. I don't care. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, you got to be having fun when it works out, when you can watch the Astros. Tell me real quick about your wife. What was her name, and what would she think of you doing this right now?
Her name is Joyce Dedman. She was a huge Astros fan. Joyce and I went to the first game ever in MLB Ballpark. Back then it was Lindrum. And we watched, last season was so special. We watched the entire season from spring training all the way to the World Series. And she passed away 1 month after the World Series. So this is to honor her memory and also to honor my grandchildren. And today's my grandson's 14th birthday. So happy birthday, Emery.
Awesome. We're glad to have you here. Hopefully we'll see you again. We're supposed to see you again, right? What's the next step that you'll see the Astros?
Next time you see the Astros, we'll be in New York.
Okay, I'll see you there.
See you there.
Thanks, Jay. You're the best. All right, guys, back up to you.
All right, Jay, that was pretty cool. Great story there, Julia. Thank you so much.
Well, welcome back to the channel. I am still at the Coachmen rally. It's actually the last day of the rally, and I wanted to have a conversation with one of our fellow Beyond owners, JJ Justilian.
Yes.
He has a pretty interesting story. He actually has a 2023 Beyond Coachmen build on a 22 chassis, and he actually picked it up. How many weeks in Florida was it?
So I actually picked it up for Valentine's Day, but I bought it at the Tampa RV show in January.
That's awesome. So you'd only had it a couple of weeks when you were in, or no?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Less than a month, yeah. Yeah, so you'd only had it for 3 weeks. And
I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
I had to meet some owners so I could figure out,
exactly,
get some ideas on what kind of modifications I needed to do. So
yeah. And so since that time, you've been really busy. You haven't been home since, right?
Not very much.
Yeah.
So my backstory for my van purchase is that my wife and I were pretty big baseball fans, and I lost her, which will be 7 months tomorrow.
Oh.
And so it was pretty fresh, and I needed somehow to go out and do honor and do right by her. And we had traveled to 44 states together.
Uh-huh.
We were missing 6, and she has a sister in Miami, one in Minnesota, one in Oregon, and a lot of family in Colorado, and I decided this would be the best way I could do is to take her to the last 6 states, and then while I was at it, I wanted to do my own bucket list, and that was to go to all 30 baseball parks in 1 season.
Oh, wow. So how many baseball fields do you have left?
Well, as of today, I've done 22. I've got 8 left.
Oh, wow.
And I should be able to finish all those in the month of August.
Wow.
So I definitely will accomplish my bucket list trip, and then I'll talk about it when I'm 71 days.
Yeah,
but I figured I'd do it right now and,
yeah.
and get it out of the way. Well, my back was still good, my knees worked, and,
yeah.
and I'm having a great time doing it.
So of the ones you visited so far, which one was your favorite?
There have been several. Wrigley is a classic. San Francisco is beautiful because it's got the water down one side, mm-hmm. and out the back, and it's in the William McCovey Cove. Denver was really pretty because it had the Rocky Mountains in the background. But in San Diego is also a really pretty park. Mm-hmm. But of the newer parks so far that I've really enjoyed was Atlanta.
Okay.
They have a brewery attached to the center field,
nice.
and they have something called the Battery, I guess, and it's like at least 40 different retail restaurants and shops,
wow.
and so it's like a whole experience. You can spend a whole day out there and shop and go to different restaurants, and I just happened to be there for opening day. They also had a really nice kind of a memorial Hall of Fame for the Braves and the history, and it's all done up in granite, and lots of stuff for Hank Aaron. So I really enjoyed that park.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Have you been to the Texas Rangers Park yet?
I have been to the new Rangers Park.
Yeah. That one went up pretty quick, I think.
It did go up pretty quick. I thought it was a nice park too. Good food, good fans. Some of the things that I liked about that park was that it had some club boxes on the field level, and then if you were a season ticket holder or got special tickets, you could go sit in some of those boxes, and so it was kind of a neat perspective angle to go to a game and watch.
So now, have you been able to? Because I think when we were in Florida, you were heading to Houston for the Astros, and did you get like a tour or something?
So what happened was our Ocala meetup was second week of March, or maybe the first week of March, and I really wanted to go to spring training. I've wanted to do it all my life. I'm really active in the Houston Livestock Show on radio, and this was the first year that my duties allowed me to leave during the course of the show, and so I was able to go to 6 games in Florida for what they call the Grapefruit League for spring training, and then I went and visited my sister-in-law and took a trip with her and her husband. I took him to go visit his mother in Virginia, and the van being all-wheel drive really helped because in March it was still very cold in Virginia, and because they lived in the mountains, the all-wheel drive came in really handy, so that was nice. From there, I took them back to Florida, started my journey in Key West, opening day, which was March 30th. All 30 teams started. I was in Miami. 2 days later, I was in Tampa. 4 days later, I was in Atlanta. 2 days later, I was in Houston. I was in Houston for a couple days. Then I went to Arlington, Denver, Seattle, San Francisco, Oakland, Dodgers, San Diego, Arizona, back to San Diego, back to Los Angeles Angels. Then I took Route 66 all the way from Santa Monica to Chicago.
Oh, awesome. Did you make some of those stops?
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
And truthfully, they're coming up on their 100-year anniversary. And if you really want to do it right, you need to give yourself more than a couple of days. I feel like I just glanced over it. But in, I believe it's in 26 will be the 100-year anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And so they're sprucing everything up, getting ready. And I think I'm going to go back and redo the whole thing.
That would be a good time to do it.
And give myself a lot of time. And that would be a great meetup for a bunch of Beyond owners or any Coachmen Class B owners that might want to go and take a Route 66 trip. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be fun because I've done the same thing where I've taken bits of it, but and same thing. It's like you're kind of on a time crunch, so you don't get to, stop and see everything. And so that would be a fun trip, especially if you said 2026.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna maybe they'll open up some new things, or
absolutely. So some other things I was able to do off of that was I was able to go to a game in St. Louis, Kansas City, Field of Dreams.
Oh, nice.
From there, I went to Wrigley. Then I went to Twin Cities. Then I went to Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, wow.
And then I went back to Chicago, caught the Cubs and the White Sox again, the Cubs again and the White Sox. Then I drove around to Detroit, and that was the summer solstice. And we went to a 1 o'clock game in the afternoon. Me and a friend of mine from Gainesville who flew in to join me. And he looked at the games are moving so fast now with the new clock that we realized that we could do a true double header. And so we got in the van and we drove from Detroit to Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
The Cleveland game was at 7 o'clock that night. And so 2 states, 2 games, 1 day. A true double header.
That's what, 2 hours, I think, about a 2-hour drive?
I think it was like 2.5.
Yeah.
It worked out good.
Yeah.
Long day.
Oh, I bet it was. Yeah. So I know she's got a lot of, well, obviously baseball themed. So you've got any specific, just the theme?
It's definitely baseball themed.
Yeah.
That is the theme of the whole trip. My backstory is that baseball is a game that's handed down from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
And my great-grandfather was the bat boy for the Chicago Cubs in the early 1900s. This is the way the story goes. I remember him coming to visit me in Houston in 1976.
Mm-hmm.
I was 10, and I was holding his hand as I walked him into the Astrodome, and we had tickets in the dome behind the home plate.
Uh-huh.
And he started to cry.
Oh, wow.
And here was this 10-year-old little boy and this 80-year-old man who was starting to cry a little bit. And I said, "Great-grandpa, what's wrong?" And he said, "Nothing's wrong. I just wanted to see a game here before I died."
Aww.
And so he used to go get my mom out of school and take her to Cubs games in Wrigley. And so he taught the love of baseball to her, and she in turn taught it to me and my two brothers. And I've done my best to teach, pass it on to my nephews, my niece, and my 5 grandchildren. So baseball's a really good game. It's very special to me.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, last year my wife was sick. We watched the entire Astros season from spring training all the way to the World Series, and they won the whole thing. So it was pretty special.
That's amazing.
And so this is my bucket list to do all 30 and honor her.
Now you pointed out the number 11 and the little Whataburger, which if you're from Texas, you understand. Whenever you go to Whataburger, they give you this little number, and if it's a number that means something to you, and I'm not advocating anyone do this, I'm just saying this happens.
They also sell them on their
website. They do sell them. That's right. They do sell them. They're called table tents. I didn't know that.
They are.
But anyway, so it's kind of a Texas thing to have your number on a little Whataburger table tent. So I noticed you have that, and there's a little bluebird.
So the number 11 is very special for me, and it's a reoccurring number that I see on pretty much a daily basis. My wife and I met in 99. We moved together in 2000, and I proposed New Year's Eve 2002. And she said, "Hey, you're a little younger than me. Let's play house." And we played house for 11 years. And in 2011, my granddaughter came to me and she said, "J. Paul, are you married to Grandma?" And I said, "No, but if you give me a couple weeks, I'll make it happen." And I told my wife, "Hey, I'd like to be married at least once in my life." We've been together for 11 years, playing house. And so she agreed to, and I took her to Las Vegas, and we got married 11/11/11.
Oh, wow.
Because I wanted an anniversary date I could remember.
Yeah.
And so my wife and I got married November 11, 2011. Last November 11th was 11/11/22, was our 11-year wedding anniversary, and my wife passed away a few days later. And so the 11 is very special to us. We used to kiss 11/11 in the morning, 11/11 in the evening. And like I say, ever since I've started this journey, I see 11s pretty regular on a lot of my visits and on a daily basis. And so when I was in Whataburger, they gave me table 1011. I almost started crying.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, they said, "Yeah, you can keep it," And so, but it's like I said, it's a number I see pretty much regularly. We were driving into Coachmen today, and I saw building 11 as we were driving in, and my Coachmen rally badge has 11 on it.
Oh yeah.
The temporary license plate for my van here has 11 on it. So yeah, 11s are very special number.
Yeah. And the little bluebird?
The bluebird is actually a small urn with some ashes of my wife in it that I keep. And I asked my wife, I said, "Hey, if you come back and visit me, will you come as?" And she said, "I will come back as a bluebird." And so that's why it's a little sentimental to me. And
that's nice. And so she's been with you, really. On
she's
this trip.
been with me, and I don't know how you feel about these things. And I'll tell you this story real quick. People go, "Oh, your wife's with you," and so one of the 6 states we haven't been to were Maine, Vermont, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Michigan, believe it or not, and Alaska. And so I drove to Vancouver in my van right before the Seattle game when it took a week-long cruise to Alaska. And I was at a group of singles because I didn't know anybody on the boat. I wanted to meet some people to say hello to when I was on the boat. And this lady walked up to me totally unsolicited and said, I don't mean to startle you, but there's a woman and she's standing behind you and she has her hands on your shoulders.
Oh, wow.
And she's asked me to tell you that she approves of what you're doing.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And she says, I'm not really sure. I think she's your wife. And she wanted me to tell you that. And I just got really kind of choked up. And I said, are you a medium? And she said, yes, I am. And I said, thank you very much.
Wow.
So, yeah, my wife is with me.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, sometimes I think, well, like you said, with 11 and seeing it, I mean, I guess people could say, well, that's because you're thinking about it. You're going to find
You're more cognizant of it.
But I don't know. Sometimes I think I've had instances where, you know, I'll be, I don't know, I'll say I'm looking for a sign, but it'll be something like that, and you just kind of instinctively know, okay, you know, this is, you know, this is working out, or this is the direction I should be going in.
I was in a very famous Cuban restaurant, Little Havana, Miami, with my sister-in-law, and you have to pull numbers to get served, and that was my number, A11.
A11, wow.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's one thing to see 11 or 1111 on the side of a building, or road 11, or 11 seconds on a crosswalk.
Yeah.
Some of the 11s I've seen are very, very much more stranger than this.
Right.
One of my favorites so far has been the, as I was driving into Florida for the Ocala Rally, there was a big billboard that said, Texas Roadhouse, 11 entrees for $11 each. And I thought, well, there's a sign.
Texas Roadhouse.
There's
right?
a sign.
Yeah.
And so, and recently my favorite now is Whataburger is now advertising that they're serving breakfast from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So they have their own 11/11 campaign too.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's a pretty reoccurring thing.
Yeah, and I know when I'll put some video here, but where you have the, because I think it's kind of funny how you kind of have like the little, I guess, work van decor on the outside, just to kind of.
Well, one of the beautiful things about this van, for those who are thinking about buying a van or a Class B van, I highly encourage it. But one of the reasons why I picked this van in particular is because I knew I was going to go to 30 major metropolitan areas, and I wanted it to look kind of stealthy. And so one of my good friends who owns a wine bar in Houston called Plonk gave me this sticker that says, this door is to be remain open and unlocked during business hours. And so I put that on my sliding door of my van, which is kind of funny.
And then you have, what was it,
MMC 11. So I was trying to make it look like a service vehicle. Everybody so far has given their vans female names. I call mine the MMC. It's the Mobile Man Cave. And 11, of course, is my favorite number.
Yeah.
So I put that on there too.
So is that kind of what you've named it? Is just kind of the?
I call it the MMC, the Mobile Man Cave.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where do you want to, after you finish the baseball?
Well,
what's your next?
I started my own travel page because people kept blowing me up saying, "Hey, how you doing? Where are you at?" And I started my own page called Baseball, Beer, and Beyond.
And I'll put a link to that.
For obvious reasons, I'm going to all 30 baseball parks. I'm a huge craft beer fan. I mean, like uncontrollably, really big. So much so that there's a beer app, and they made me one of the 7 moderators for Texas.
Oh, cool.
And so it's like being an unpaid intern.
Right.
But the name of that app is called Untap, and you can find me there under Texans NFL fan and under JJ. But yeah, I'm going to all the baseball parks. I'm going to a bunch of breweries and beyond, which is a double entendre because my van is a 23C for the couch, all-wheel drive Li3. I chose the Li3 because I could go to all 30 stadiums. I could park when there's no generator on our van at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Until this rally, I have never even plugged into shore power.
Wow.
This is the first time ever since I picked the van up on
Yeah.
Valentine's Day has this van been plugged in. It's a nice hot humid day. If you hear the air conditioner running, it's a Premier. It's not the Crider or Truman that you have, but Trim, I mean, and but it works pretty good. And being from Texas, as we both know, you got to have good AC. So I'm enjoying that also. When you're traveling around, to make it look kind of like a service vehicle, it's kind of nice. And being a widower, bachelor, I guess I'm enjoying my van. I'm too cheap to go get a bunch of hotel rooms. I'd rather sleep in my van.
Well, and it just makes it so much easier to, you have everything with you. Even when we went up for my daughter's graduation, we spent 2 nights at a hotel, and my husband, who doesn't travel with me because he can do like 1 or 2 nights in the van, then but he was even like, you know what, I'd rather be in the van.
I have a hard time telling my friends and my family members, hey, we have a bed in the house. I'm like, hey, I'm just really comfortable sleeping in my van in the driveway, and they think I'm crazy.
It becomes home away from home. You pretty much settle in like when you're at home. You're not, like a hotel, you're always kind of living out of a suitcase. Where in here, you're not living out of a suitcase. You could put your stuff away wherever.
For that fact, it's even kind of hard to get a suitcase into this thing, but
But it's, you want to cook dinner, you make dinner, you want to grab something to drink. I mean, anything you need is right there, and it's all your things, and you're not bothering anyone else. You're just doing your thing. So it is a lot harder, I think, to go to a hotel and drag your stuff in and make sure you didn't misplace something.
And not only that, I mean, but you worry about your things that are in your van while you're not in it.
Exactly.
And so you and I had a conversation, and I'm looking forward to your video about it. But when I was in Canada recently, I got to the crossing guard and their local friendly customs bounty or whatever, and the lady looked at me and she said, "You're from Texas?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "Do you have any alcohol in your van?" And I go, "Yeah, I have some alcohol in my van. I've got a couple of cases of beer." And she said, "Do you have any guns in your van?" And I go, "No, I don't have any guns in my van." And she said, "You're from Texas and you don't have any guns in your van?" And I said, "I'm from Texas and I don't have any guns in my van. I do have something that I carry that I showed you. It is a Bryna air pistol for self-defense. It shoots hard kinetic plastic balls and pepper balls. And I encourage, to me, going in states like Illinois, New York, New Jersey, California, Washington, where you can't legally own a gun in your van, it's good to have something." And so what we bought is legal in all 50 states. You don't need a CHL license to carry it. It will deter anybody. We both put lasers on ours. When they're in our van and you're on the outside and we shine a little laser light on you, you don't know what we got. And so, and even if you did, we're locked inside of our vans. We feel pretty safe inside of our little castles. But I highly encourage any van owner to look at that as an option for the states when you're traveling and you want to have something, but you're worried about staying on the right side of the law. It's called a Bryna.
SD is the current one, I think.
It's self-defense.
Self-defense.
The HD, I think, was for home defense. They have 2 models. Anyway, I'm sure she'll post a link to this. And look forward to a video coming soon all about that.
It actually has, they're little round balls, but it's air canister in there.
It's a CO2 cartridge.
CO2 cartridge.
And it shoots hard kinetic plastic balls. And it also shoots soft balls for like if you're practicing. And
it's like dissolving ones.
Right, and it also shoots pepper balls. Which will make you cry. I mean, there are videos of grown men getting hit with these things and going, hey. So this is something that, if you're in a van like this, especially in an RV park, you don't want to start shooting through tin cans with bullets going from place to place to place, and you just want to scare people away, and that's kind of what we're doing.
And it's, the first line of defense is trusting your instinct and not being in a situation, like if you go somewhere and you're going to street camp, which I don't do too much street camping, or I really haven't done street camping. I've done boondocking, but you know what I'm saying. You don't go somewhere that, you know, there's questionable vehicles. Or,
you look before you leap.
Exactly. So this is just kind of I have that, and I do have bear sprays.
That'll work too.
Yeah, but yeah, it's always
just make sure you point the nozzle in the right direction.
Exactly. I don't think I want to use it in the van.
No.
But yeah, I mean, those are things to think about.
So for future travel destinations for me, I'm looking forward to finishing my trip. I have to go to New York. I'm going to go to the Yankees when the Astros are playing there.
Okay.
I'm going to go to a Mets game. Then I'm going to go to the Orioles when the Astros are playing there. Then I'm going to go to the Washington Nationals. Then I'm going to go to the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm going to go to the Pittsburgh, which I keep hearing great things about their stadium. So I'm looking forward to seeing their stadium also. And then I'm going to go to Cincinnati, and I'm going to finish in Fenway. Okay. Fenway being the oldest ballpark. And the Astros will just happen to be there when I'll be there.
Oh, that's perfect.
So that's a perfect way to finish. As for continuation with this, we'll roll right into football season. I'm a big Houston Texan fan also, unfortunately. But I've been a season ticket with them since day one, and enjoyed going to road games, at least one every year, outside of the COVID year. And I'm very much looking forward to going to some of those games in my van. So
that'll be a lot
I'll go
of fun.
catch a couple road games in the van this time. And I like to say that I did all 30 of those football stadiums also, 32 of those football stadiums with my team in it. And then I'm looking to repeat a bunch of the baseball ones next season with the Astros in those ballparks. So
have you thought about any of the farm teams or the minor league?
Absolutely. I'd like to see some more of those too.
Yeah. I didn't realize a lot of those teams have some pretty funny names.
We were just talking the other night about the Savannah Bananas. But yeah, they, in my opinion, AAA, AA, even single A is a great bang for your buck if you're a baseball purist. It's a usually pretty good game. And the kids are trying pretty hard because they want to make it to the big leagues. It's not quite the same product, but it's a good product. And I find the clubs themselves do a better job on promotions, theme nights, whatever. They even better than the big clubs sometimes.
Yeah, kind of to try to attract people to come in
and then of course some other things I'd like to do is, being from Texas, I met some Louisiana campers here this weekend. The two Rickies and their lovely wives, and we're talking about doing a Boudin trail.
Yes, this is going to be
beyond.
I want to make this one happen because it would be a lot of
Boudin and Beyond trail. So we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
As my Cajun family would say, we gonna do that.
Yep. So, you were just telling me this is the Major League Baseball Park Passport. I'll let you talk about it.
So for anybody who thinks that they want to collect baseball parks, and a lot of people have already started this journey, but I cannot say enough great things about this book. It is not only a great keepsake, but it's allowed me to meet a lot of other fellow what we call baseball stampeders. There's a couple different Facebook groups. They have their own. This is a book put together by a gentleman who is a baseball purist, and it's called the MLB Passport. And what it is every time you go to a stadium, they will stamp and date your book on the days you go. And so there's lots of history in this thing, but like every time you go to the ballpark right here, as you can see, they will stamp and date your book. And it is possible for them to backstamp these if you know the days that you went to the stadiums in the past. Okay, here's the Colorado Rockies. Here's Minnesota Twins.
That's pretty cool.
Here is Kansas City Royals. And one of my favorites about my hometown is this is the Houston Astros.
Nice.
And so if you go on a Friday, they do their fireworks night. And they're the only ballpark where I've seen the fireworks stamp. So they will give you the stamp They also pride themselves by doing orange ink for the Astro colors. But as you go through the book, it'll give you all the history of the club, of the stadium itself that you're going to, its longitude, latitude, and then it has a sheet for the box score, and then you can have it witnessed by who you attended the games with. And so it's a great keepsake memory, and they do some special things when you hit all 30. But they too have their own rally, and it'll be August 19th in Cincinnati.
Oh, cool.
So I'm coming back to up here, and I'll be attending with them. And if you think you want to be a baseball stadium collector, you can't do any better than this book. And you can go to their website. They actually sell their books in most of the ballparks, but this is their website, MLB Ballpark Passport.com. And
I'll put a direct link to that too.
And they also have a Facebook group.
Oh,
and their Facebook group is Ballpark Stampeders.
I think if I zoom in, I think people can use that QR code from there. That's really neat. That makes it all. I like the bobblehead too. But that makes it even more, because you can document every little thing as you're going to the game.
It's fun. It's something, like I said, to do. I met a grandfather and a grandson that were doing all 30 parks, and they were doing it in 2 years. I met another guy that was doing all 30 parks. He did all 30 in 59 days. And I've met a couple others. To my knowledge, there's about 10 of us that are doing all 30 in 1 year, or at least trying.
Oh, wow.
One of those couples claimed that they did 30 parks in 30 days. Well, they did. They went to 30 baseball parks in 30 days, but they didn't go to 30 baseball games.
Oh, okay.
So, do this. Don't be in a hurry.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. And that's the key thing about all of this traveling in a van. It's just really enjoying the journey and just finding, like in your case, going to the baseball fields, or if it's going to the national parks, or whatever. Like one of the things I want to do is rail stations, so I've got to map that one out yet. But whatever it is, and having a van just really really facilitates that.
It's very freeing.
It really is.
You can kind of wake up and go where the wind blows you.
Exactly. And the thing about a Class B, as it goes without saying, is that you can park pretty much where you can park a car. You can go down the side roads. So it just really kind of helps facilitate all these things. So,
no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Just go see America.
Yeah.
It's a great country.
Yeah.
And if you want to go to Canada, Mexico, or do the Alaska Highway, well, go do some of that too.
Exactly.
I've been to Canada twice this year. I never thought I'd say that.
Oh, wow.
So it's a beautiful country we have.
Yeah, exactly.
In closing, I would say that if you're thinking about buying a B van, you cannot do any better than a Beyond.
Yeah.
I cannot say the people that I've met at these two rallies, the Ocala rally and the rally here at the 55th annual Coachmen rally, have been incredible.
Yeah.
The people at Coachmen, from the top down to the service people, have been fantastic.
Yep.
They bend over backwards to accommodate us in any and every way they can, and just the nicest people you could ever want to go travel with in your entire life. So
definitely
great owners group.
Yeah.
Great people like like Dean
and
Rhonda.
Blamafitz,
Yeah, and so and then I've met some great other YouTubers like yourself and Hank and Lola and the Coasties and a few others, and so
it is. It's a great group.
It's a great group.
Yeah.
Come join us.
Yeah, definitely join us.
We hope to see you down the road.
Well, thanks for taking the time to chat with me, and we'll close it out here. But thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you down the road.